What should be your very first Cave 1 credit clear? A game that often comes up in that discussion is this one right here, Espgaluda. That's because there's a slow motion system to make the game much more manageable during its hard sections, and the general difficulty of the game is lower than other cave clears. But what you're gonna find if you're like a new player or new to cave clears is that if you boot up this game, it's gonna kick your ass. This game is not free at all. So what we're going to do today is that if you're a survival player who's looking to clear this game as quickly as possible, or if you're somebody who's never had a Cave 1 credit clear before, this is going to be geared towards you, and we're going to help you get there as safely and consistently as possible. This game was actually my very first cave game that I got a clear on, but back then I didn't really know how to look for resources for like just survival. So whenever you'd like YouTube up Espgaluda, you'd find like a high scoring run, like something like Jamer's run, and you'd be like, okay, if I'm gonna learn the game, I gotta do the stuff in there. So while I did learn the scoring route, and that route's a whole lot of fun, I really enjoy this game for score, it took a really long time. It takes a lot longer than if you're just trying to clear the game normally. So I wanted to put out a resource that might help you get through the game specifically for survival. Here's how the slow motion mechanic works. Killing enemies will grant you gems. With these gems, you can then enter Kakusei mode, which will slowly drain your gems, but slowing down all of the bullets on screen. Additionally, killing an enemy will cancel all of their shots. Make sure you don't run out of gems or else you enter over mode, where all the bullets move twice as fast. Both characters are equally viable. Pick Ageha for a fast straight shot ship with strong Kakusei laser, or pick Tateha for a slow wide shot ship with the strong Kakusei shot. I'm going to be using Tateha for their wide shot for the stages and their strong normal laser for the bosses. Alright, let's begin the run. We're actually going to be playing on player 2's side because there's a neat little scoring trick in stage 3 that's going to help reach the scoring extends. Now, at the beginning of each stage, we want to build as many gems as possible so that we can use our Kakusei to delete all the hard sections of the game. And we get more gems by killing enemies fast when they enter the screen. So we can either play aggressive and kill them very quickly at the top of the screen, or we can hang out on the bottom of the screen and use our wide spread to delete as big of an area as possible. See this big ship coming in here? We're going to hold our laser on it so we kill it as fast as possible so that we can only shoot once. We're going to go to the right here to kill the tanks, go to the left, and now we're pre-positioned to hit this turret here. We want to get rid of this turret as fast as possible, and we have a ton of gems, so as soon as it shoots, we switch to Kakusei. Now our Kakusei laser is dog shit, but our Kakusei shot does a lot of damage, so whenever you switch to Kakusei, use your shot and we get rid of it. All of its bullets are gone, and now we can deal with all of these enemies with no overlap with the turret. Now, we don't need to memorize exactly where to be for all the Zakos, all the small fry that we'll run into, but we do want to memorize the position of all these big ships like this one so that you can be pre-prepared to shoot it as soon as it comes in, so they shoot as little as possible. Now we're coming up to our first mid-boss. You see here it's got 3 sections, both of its arms and the main boss itself. In order to get rid of it as easily as possible, let's focus our laser on one arm and we'll get a bullet cancel. As soon as that happens, switch to your Kakusei. We'll get rid of the other arm. The closer you are to the boss, the more damage you'll do. So we hang out up top near the boss, and then as it shoots bullets, we'll move downwards to give us some more room. That's how you get rid of the mid-boss without it shooting any bullets at you. Now for the second half of the stage. We're going to go to the right here, and we're waiting on the top left. You see these flying enemies? Once you see those ones on the top left, you move to the left. Then you see they start coming from the top right. Then that's your cue to move to the right. That way we hold our laser on this turret. We're also going to use Kakusei to get rid of this and this big plane just to set us up for here. We're going to hold in the center here because there's a lot of big enemies in the center, and we're going to try to get rid of them as fast as possible with our laser. Once we get rid of here, we have a lot of gems we can use that we aren't going to need for the boss up ahead. So with this excess, we're going to do our first little bit of score. So we're going to use our shot to try to sweep all these little dudes on top of the tower. And then we're going to use Kakusei and we're going to hide in the corner. By hiding in the corner, we give a lot of room for all these tanks and everything to shoot a lot of shots out. We want them to shoot as many as possible so we get the biggest cancel we can. Once they start reaching us, we can start to slowly sweep them with our shot, and we get all these cancels. We want to just get as many as possible and then switch out of it whenever our gems are getting pretty low so that we don't accidentally go into overmode and have to dodge really fast bullets. Let's just sweep the rest of them. Now we have more than enough gems for the first boss. Here is the first boss pattern. We want to move only a little bit because all these shots are aimed at us. If we move just a tiny bit, then they won't spread out everywhere. And then we get this attack here. This one looks scary because we have both this spread and these aim shot. But if you see the spread here, it always does this pattern. And if you see, there's always a clean lane to move to the left, just like this. And it'll always be in that direction. So as long as you keep tapping to the left, all of these aimed bullets will be shot behind you, and you can completely ignore them. You just tap left and you're fine. Now this one's a bit harder to dodge, so here's where we're going to use our Kakusei. It makes it a lot easier. Now the conundrum with Tateha is that we move really fast with using our shot, and we need to use our shot to get the most damage. But it's kind of unwieldy because you move really fast. So it's fine to use your laser to slow yourself down, and then when you got room to breathe, you go back to using your shot in Kakusei. Now for this final pattern. We're going to focus on the boss, and we're going to get these aim shots. So we just tap a little bit, and we'll automatically dodge it. Sit under this cannon, and it's going to rotate clockwise or counterclockwise. You can just rotate along with it, and you'll manage to dodge it. We get more aim shots. Just keep tapping, and you're completely fine. And in no time, we'll get the kill on the boss. Now, if you're familiar with Espgaluda, you're going to notice something that we didn't do there. This is a really common place to set up our Kakusei overmode to max level. When you run out of gems in Kakusei, all the bullets go red, they'll go really fast, and you'll see this little circle around our ship. That's our Kakusei overmode level. What increasing this level does is it makes it so that when you're not in Kakusei, you get more gems when you kill enemies. And this boss's second phase is a really great spot to set up your overmode level. What you do here is you just stay in overmode and you don't shoot. This builds up the level really fast, and you have more than enough time to dodge everything and build it up to maximum. So why aren't we doing that? Because if you ever die, your overmode resets to nothing and you'll have to re-get it back. We aren't doing that in this route because I want this route to always work regardless of if you make a mistake or not and get clipped and die somewhere. I don't want you to be ready for a route that requires max overmode level to build the right amount of gems, and then you get clipped somewhere and now your route's completely fucked for the rest of the run. I want this to always work regardless of if you die or not. So that's why we're not going for it. Otherwise, if you want to, this is an excellent spot to set that up. Moving on to Stage 2. Stage 2 is a bit more involved in the routing, but it's still not too bad to survive in. So right off the bat, let's focus our laser on this turret up here. Then we're going to use our shot to sweep everything. As soon as you see this big plane come in, you can use your Kakusei, get rid of that. Makes things a lot easier. This whole section, you don't need to hard memo where everything is because we're on Tateha. You can use your shot at the bottom of the screen and you cover so much area that you'll clear out everything fine, even without a hard route. This big enemy here shoots aim shot, so you can once again just stand still and then tap and you're fine. See this line here? We're gonna get a line of 3 of those ships. We're gonna go left, middle, right. And then we get this one that's out of sync. It's coming in the middle now. As soon as that happens, we're gonna once again use our Kakusei for a scoring section. We're going to hang out in the corner once again. We have all these gems we could use. As soon as they start filling the screen, we'll sweep across, and we also want to get rid of this one. Now we're set up for the next section. Now here, it's a bit more dangerous because the Zakos are a bit aggressive. You can see we kind of have to dodge flying enemies, the tanks, and the turrets while dealing with the big enemies. What you want to do here is instead of holding your laser the entire time, in between the big enemies, you want to flick to your shot for a little bit, and you'll clear out all of these small enemies. See here, we flick to our shot in between. That's how you could take advantage of both the spread and the laser to quick kill the big enemies, and you could clear out sections like that without getting rammed by the small enemies. Now we're building up as many gems as possible for the mid-boss. We want to just kill everything and make sure we laser these 2 big ships as fast as possible. Now we have more than enough gems for the mid-boss. Mid-boss has a random pattern that it can do for its first phase, but if we use Kakusei immediately, as soon as the boss flashes yellow, that means you can start damaging it. We're going to use our Kakusei, makes any pattern it could throw at you easy. Now the second one is one long stream, so what we want to do is get the one hard side of the boss. We don't want to be in the middle because we'll run out of room as we try to kill it. We want to pick one side and then slowly stream to the other. All of these are aimed, so we just keep tapping and we'll dodge everything. Then we get rid of the boss. Depending on how fast you kill the boss, you'll get a differing amount of enemies in this little chasm here. So you want to react at what point you're in the chasm and then follow along with it. As soon as you get to this point, we're getting ready for the next section. There's going to be some trains that we want to kill as fast as possible. You see here, this tank right here. As soon as you see that, that's your cue to hammer to the right so you could get ready to kill this train car. This train holds both the head car itself that shoots spreads at you, and each car behind has a bunch of soldiers that'll be shooting aim shots at you. And the longer you keep it alive, they'll start shooting revenge bullets when you finally do kill it. So what we're doing is we see that little tank, we pre-position so that we could kill the head as fast as possible. By killing the head, the whole thing dies immediately and you don't have to worry about anything else. Let's just sweep from right to left, we kill all these. Sets us up perfectly to kill this big enemy. Now here, we're going to clear out all these, and now we see we got that other train up there, but we're getting a lot of enemies also that we have to deal with. What we want to do is we want to hold our laser on the head car of the train, and we're going to slowly tap to the left. Everything here is aimed, so while it looks like there's a lot of stuff on screen, nothing can hit you. Just keep focusing on that, and you're good. Now we just clean up here, get rid of this big enemy. From here on, we're going to be holding our laser for a really long time. So we're going to laser this first one, then move to the right, laser this. Now don't move away just yet, we want to kill that turret. After that turret's dead, you're clear to kill that train car. We're going to pre-position to the left here because there's this staircase of these mid-sized ships, and then we kill that last plane. We want to pre-position on the right here because there's going to be a bunch of enemies rushing us. We're just going to tap and use our shot. We clear all of them good. Now, we should have more than enough leeway to have a bunch of gems here, but if you're running out of gems, we're going to get more than enough in this last section here for the boss up ahead. This boss is a lot more challenging than the first boss, but we have both maxed out gems for Kakusei, and we have a full bomb meter. There's going to be a bomb refill on the next stage, so we're clear to use a bomb on this boss. So for the first phase, what we want to do is we want to hug the very bottom right side or bottom left side and hold our laser, and we're going to slowly tap. Everything's aimed once again. We just want to make sure that these long shots here that we're ahead of those, that's all we have to do, like pacing wise, is make sure you're ahead of those and you have more than enough room to get rid of this phase. Now we're stuck here in the corner for these fast moving, these shots here. We're going to use Kakusei just to make that a bit easier to dodge. Now this pattern could trip people up, so what we're going to do is use a fully charged bomb. The way the bomb works in this game is you can tap bomb and you get a really fast, low damage bomb that will use 25% of your meter. Or you could hold it. What we're going to do to get as much damage as possible to clean out the entire phase is we're going to hold it. So you see here, we're going to try to get the maximum charge possible. We're waiting for the bubble to get really big, and then we got to wait a little bit longer. If you let go when it reaches maximum size, you'll get only 3 of your lasers from the bomb. We're trying to get the full 4, which you see here, which does the most amount of damage. Just make sure that you hold the bomb. Look at our meter at the bottom here. That's about the meter you want to use. It's not 50%. But it's pretty close to there. Like once you reach 40 or like 45%, that's how you know you're at maximum level. You get the max bomb. For the second phase, we want to hold our laser underneath this right arm. And then once these bullets come out, we want to hold to the left. We don't have enough speed to tap to avoid these. You need to hold to the left. Then we're going to get here. We need to find a lane there. There's a few clean lanes. And then we're going to move back in like a J motion. So that way we can kill it without needing to do any cutbacks. This last pattern is a big spike in difficulty for boss patterns. So what we're going to do is use all that Kakusei we have stored up, and we're going to speed kill it as fast as possible. We're going to switch to shot as soon as we can, and then we're going to position so that all of our shots are hitting this right arm. it'll kill all these discs so they can barely shoot, and all we have to do is dodge one of those spreads, and we speed kill this boss and not have to worry about it at all. Stage 3 is much more intense on the routing, and it's the longest stage, but it's where we're going to get a lot of score for our extends. Let's start by hanging out on the left, sweeping all these Zakos, then hang out on the right. We want to kill all the Zakos, and then we can focus on these new train cars. The head car on each of these trains shoots the most dangerous shots. So for most of them, we're going to use Kakusei, and we're going to get rid of it immediately. Then we can just sweep with our laser to get rid of all the rest of them. Let's hang out on the right, make sure we kill that whole car. Now you see here, we don't immediately switch to Kakusei to get rid of the head of this train. The reason we're doing that is whenever you're in Kakusei mode and you kill an enemy, you lose a set amount of gems. So you see, if we switch to Kakusei right here, all of these little flying enemies on the top left, those are going to drain our gems, and we might not have enough for later. So what we do is we wait for all of them to die. We sweep them with our shot. Now that they're all dead, we're free to use our Kakusei because only the train car here is what'll be canceled. Now we can get rid of the rest of that train, and then we're going to sweep everything and get ready for the next section. For this part, we want to kill everything as fast as possible to get ready for the next set of train cars. As soon as all those top right flying enemies are dead and there's now no more Zakos on screen, you see we could see a little bit of that train car coming up ahead. We want to kill that as soon as possible before they can shoot anything. So as soon as all the Zakos are dead, switch Kakusei, kill that immediately. Now we're going to switch off and kill those trains. As soon as those two are dead, we're pre-positioned here. We're getting a mix now of this enemy here. We're going to be seeing a lot of these, and these we want to pre-position to kill them. I messed up. I needed to kill this train car also, but we could sweep both of them and it's fine. As soon as those are dead, now we have two dangerous cars here. We're going to use our Kakusei to clean out both of those, and then you see we're back to the left to pre-position for this one. Once that's down, now we can easily just sweep the rest of them. So let's look at that one more time. We're going to kill all the Zakos, immediately switch to Kakusei. Now we're kill the train cars. We're pre-positioned on the left for this big flying enemy. And now we use our Kakusei, get rid of the dangerous ones. Go back to the left. Now we clean up everything else. We're going to pre-position. We're going to get another staircase from the left, the middle, and the right. So we're going to pre-position. Hold your laser on the left, middle, and the right. Don't worry about these enemies on the left. They'll move away on their own, so you could just keep dodging up if you're scared. Now, once all of those are gone, once again, we switch to Kakusei, get rid of the head of the train car. Now, we don't need to use Kakusei on this one. There's no other enemies, so we clear it out pretty fast. Now, we want to get ready to stream from left to right. So we're going to hold our laser here, aligned with the big enemies up top. Now that those are all dead, pretty much nothing's shooting at us. So now we can curve back the other way. And it's going to get rid of these train cars, along with all of these other enemies. We're trying to kill all these train cars and build up a bunch of gems for the mid-boss up ahead, so we don't want to use Kakusei yet. Now we're here for the mid-boss. You want to stop shooting here. Here's where that Stage 3 scoring trick comes into play, and why we're playing on the Player 2 side. If you're playing the arcade version, you need to play on Player 2, or if you're on the PS2 version, it works on either side. I'll show you what's going on with this. We're going to not shoot at all and just dodge through here. Now, because we're not shooting and not holding our laser and moving slow, we move really fast because we're in shot mode right now. If you want to move slower and have finer control while using shot, if you hold the bottom of the screen holding down, and then you tap diagonally down to the left or diagonally down to the right, you're going to get your diagonal movement and not your left and right speed. Your diagonal movement is slower than moving just hard left or right, so that'll give you more precise control. So to dodge these here, where we're not using our laser, we're holding down and then tapping down left or down right, makes it easier. After this happens, we're going to swap to Kakusei. Here's where the glitch comes in. These enemies will shoot shots whenever you shoot them, only on Player 2 side for whatever reason. And this is a ton of super free, easy score that's going to help us reach the scoring extends. The second scoring extend, which is the cap of what we want to hit, is at 14 million. And this section alone is giving us a ton of points. Now, second phase is pretty easy. We're just going to stream, just be slowly tapping in one direction and you're good. As soon as this mid-boss goes down, we're going to hug the right side and hold our laser. We're going to slowly stream to the left for a few waves until we hit the right side, then we're going to cut back and move the other way. As soon as we start seeing the sky now we can just sweep one wave at a time going back and forth, and we'll end up on the left here. Let's kill everything quickly. You see, we're going to get a bunch of enemies on the top of those mid-sized ones we saw before. Once you get to here, you see these two fan engine things on the left and the right. As soon as you kill those, you get a full screen bullet cancel. So we're going to use those to help set up against all this barrage of mid-sized enemies. And those cancels will let us clear them out as fast as possible. Now that we don't have any more cancels, we're going to use Kakusei to get rid of all these annoying enemies. And then now we switch out of it. We don't want to be in Kakusei once these flying enemies are coming in. They're going to drain all of our gems, so make sure you're in normal mode. Now we have another barrage here. We're just going to do our best to kill as many as we can that are annoying with our Kakusei. It's not super specific on the route. And then once we get to the end, we're going to pre-position on the left and then move to the... we're going to pre-position on the right and then stream to the left, get rid of the rest of these. That sets us up to get rid of these Zakos on the left and right. And we're pre-positioned to get ready for this huge engine in the middle. This one will shoot aim shots and then the spread here. If we want to have enough room to do enough damage to it, well, just like the stage 2 mid-boss, we want to start on one side and then slowly go to the other. If we start in the middle here, we run out of room and our narrow laser will no longer be hitting it and we'll have to make some dodges. Just start on one side of it and you have more than enough damage to get rid of it. Now this upcoming section's really hard, but luckily we have all these gems to make it easier. Here's what we do. We have these new enemies here along with some turrets. These enemies here have two phases. Watch, we kill the first one, it'll explode the first time, and now the second one will start up. We need to make sure that when we're killing them, that we kill the first phase, and then we make sure we're on it for the second one. Otherwise, it's going to shoot dangerous spreads, so we make sure you kill it twice. Here's how we deal with this section. We're going to pre-position for the first big plane on the left. Then we're going to slowly move to the right here so we kill all these Zakos. As soon as those Zakos are dead, we have a problem. We got this big plane here we're out of position for, and we have that turret. So we're going to immediately swap to Kakusei now that all the Zakos are dead, and we're going to sweep both of them. Our shot's wide enough to take out both of them. As soon as they're dead, you need to immediately swap off because these planes here are coming to steal all of your gems. And we're pre-positioned to kill that one on the left, kill the one on the right. Now we want to get to the left side of the screen. So as soon as we kill this big enemy on the top left, we're going to slowly start tapping and making our way to the top left. These enemies here are a real hassle if they live and get to shoot their shots at us. By being pre-positioned here, we'll kill these front two tanks and keep holding on there. There's a secret one back here. As soon as those are dead, we can now focus on this big cannon here without worrying about anything else. It's way easier to dodge when it's just its spread. Now we're going to get ready for the next one. We want to go on the left here, and we're waiting for all of these planes to either die or run off screen. Now that all of them are gone, we got a lot on screen. So we're going to use all of our Kakusei. We're going to kill that big turret and then kill all these. We want to kill these top tanks. I missed this one. You can kill it or not kill it. Doesn't matter too much. Even if you, like, these planes here drain some of your gems, it's usually fine. But we use that Kakusei there to make that section way easier. Let's pre-position on the left here because not only will we kill these planes, but we're ready for these mid-sized flying enemies. Now we're going to get locked in here, but see these here? We have these once again to give us a bullet cancel. As soon as that cancel happens, we're clean to start staircasing to the other way. Now we just have to get rid of this last set of enemies and turrets. And you see here, this little eye here. This is the secret extend. In order to get it, you have to shoot it while in Kakusei. So we switch to Kakusei, but the issue is we have these turrets. So we're staying on the top of the screen, not only so we deal more damage, but so that we can misdirect these shots. So see here, we're going to the left side, then the right side. Our shot's wide enough that we're hitting the secret extend. By the time both of these turrets die, this will usually go down. As soon as you see that pop up, switch off Kakusei. Now we can stream from right to left, and we get rid of everything else and build up a ton of gems. We want about like 400 gems for this boss, If you're like around there or have more, you're perfectly set for this boss. We now have a ton of gems to make this boss a lot easier. We do have to dodge this first section. If you want easier dodges, once again, you can hug the bottom of the screen and the gem diagonally down left, diagonally down right. You'll get more control. So if you have trouble moving left and right to dodge these and you need more control, you can do that. Now these shots here, this is a big blob aimed at us. And since our ship is slow, we have enough speed to use our laser and sweep by it, but just barely. So to give us more leeway, we switch to shot, dodge it, get in a clean lane here, switch to your shot. We're gonna get 2 of them back to back. Just use your shot in between, makes it easier. This pattern is a bit random. You get this first V shot that's oriented based on you, but the actual spreads and formation of it is gonna be random. So just to simplify it, we're just gonna use Kakusei. We're going to flick that on and off just to help with the dodges. We don't want to use too much Kakusei because we want it for the second phase. By then, boss should go down. Now, the second phase is where we're going to get a huge amount of score and skip a really hard pattern because that we stockpiled all these gems. If you have something like 300 gems, you should be able to do this part at this point. Now, we have all these turrets, and we have these spreads from the boss. We're safe from these circular shots in the middle of the boss, so we make our way to the middle, and as soon as these turrets shoot their shots, we're going to switch to Kakusei. This is how we're going to get a huge amount of cancels. We're going to get a huge amount of score. So we're just going to hang out in the middle here. We're kind of trying to stay as high as we can to do as much damage to the boss. I'm going to even do some extra damage there to the boss. This next pattern is really fucking hard. This is the hardest pattern so far, by far. So what we're going to do to make it easier is we're going to start on the bottom left. You see, we're going to get walled into the center here. So we want to use this room while we have it to bait these spread shots here. We want to move just fast enough to get past those. And by then, we'll have done enough damage that we're really close to killing it. You notice at the end of every boss phase, you hear that sound effect? That means the boss is about to die. You can use that to line up when you want to use your Kakusei so that you could kill this boss. And now we don't have to dodge that really hard pattern. Now for the last one's really easy. Everything is aimed at you really slowly. So we just need to slowly tap to the right. You might get anxious as you get like past the midline. You're like, oh no, am I doing enough damage? You have enough damage. You have so much room. And if you have any gems left over here, this is a great spot that, like, as it's about to die, just flick Kakusei on, get a cancel for some extra score, but it's not necessary if you run out of gems. Look here, we got a huge amount of score in that stage. We're halfway through the game, and we're at almost 11 million, and we just have to hit 14 million to get both extends, so we're on route by far. So far, we put a lot of emphasis on killing big enemies as soon as they enter on screen. But for stage 4, that's especially so. That's going to be the core theme of this stage. So I'll show you right off the bat the big enemy we have to worry about. So right off the bat, you see this one right here? It's going to shoot these spreads that are pretty dense, and the only safe place is directly under it. Then, after, it's going to shoot these lines everywhere. They're a real hassle to deal with along with the other enemies we're going to encounter in the stage, so we want to get under them as soon as they enter, kill them immediately, and look, this is all it can shoot if we do that. So we want to... I'm going to go way more in depth on the route starting from now on, just to make that a lot easier. So immediately as the stage starts, we kill the enemies on the left, get on the right side. We kill that immediately. Hold your laser here because one's going to pop in right in line with those tanks. Kill that as well as soon as it pops in. We're going to stay here on the right until Zakos come from the left. See, we got those left Zakos. As soon as those left Zakos come in, now we're in time to kill this tank on the right before it can shoot. This section here, we can just hang out in the middle, use your shot. As soon as this big tank comes in, we want to be on the left side so that we can stream to the right. Everything is aimed, so just slowly stream so we get rid of everything. We want everything to be dead so that we're ready in the middle here of where all these turrets were to speed kill this one. Now we kill all these Zakos. We have 2 enemies here that are pretty annoying to deal with. So we're going to use Kakusei, get rid of those immediately. Now use your shot on the right. We're trying to kill all these small enemies so that we're ready for this big one. Swap back the laser. We kill that immediately. And now we kill that tank. there's going to be another one, so you want to be ready right after this tank dies for a second one to be there. You can like hold laser for both of them if you want. Now, after these Zakkos are dead, kill that tank on the left. We're going to get another tank and turret combination, but instead of being on the left and streaming to the right, it's the other way around. We're on the right here, streaming left. We're going to hug the left side here because we're getting another one of those big enemies. We're going to get a barrage of these. So the first one there was on the left. Now we're going to get one in the middle. And we're going to track it to the right. Now we're going to get one on the left side. We're flicking with our shot in between each of these big enemies so that we kill the tanks alongside with the big ones. That way we clear them out and we don't have too many bullets on screen. Now we have more than enough gems for the mid-boss. This mid-boss is really hard, both of his patterns. So that's why we built 500 gems so that we can nullify it completely. As soon as it goes yellow, that means you can start damaging it. We're going to immediately switch to Kakusei. You can either, for this pattern, hang out on the bottom and doing that trick we mentioned before, or you can like move up and around to try to move through the lanes. As soon as we get through that pattern and you hear that sound that it's about to die, we're going to switch off it. If we get the cancel on the boss, we're going to lose a lot of our gems. So we switch off Kakusei so that we have enough gems for this pattern. Now, I've played this game a lot, but this pattern always gives me problems. This one's pretty difficult, so we have enough Kakusei to last for the whole thing. You can either follow a lane and dodging these circular shots, or you can stay at the hard bottom and just dodge in between lanes. Both of them work. Once again, for all the mid-bosses, depending on how fast we kill it, we're going to get a different amount of Zakkos afterwards. Usually by this time, when I use Kakusei to kill both of them, I'll get them starting on the right. Usually there's a big enemy there. I killed it a bit late, so we didn't have to kill it. So we'll go on the left here. All right, we're going to get a barrage of these back-to-back. We're going to get this enemy, a bunch of Zakkos on the opposite side, and then we're going to get it repeated over and over. So we start on the left, laser it, switch to shot. Go on the right, laser it, switch to shot. We kill all of those. Once we've killed all 4 of those, we're going to now stream on the left. We're orienting ourselves based off these turrets on the top of the screen. So we want to laser slowly to the right, killing all these enemies. By the time we reach this side, pretty much all these tanks here are no longer shooting at us. We can make a cut. Very slowly go to the left. We're going slow, so all these turrets and tanks are dead. If we do that correctly, everything's dead for this big enemy here. This one you really want to use a resource on. This enemy is pretty hard to do normally, so we're going to use Kakusei. I used my shot for this whole time, but if you find that you're having trouble because the speed is too fast, you can hold your laser for all the hard sections and then switch to your shot when you're good. That's totally fine. Now, usually once we kill that, there'll be enemies on the left. We're going to get 2 tanks in each of these garages, so we want to kill both of those as fast as possible. That's signaling the new theme for the next part of the stage. Instead of getting 1 big enemy at a time, we're going to get doubles. So we're waiting here. We're going to get this big enemy here, and there's going to be another one. So you keep holding your laser. Don't switch off it. Keep holding your laser so you kill both of those as fast as possible. Those 2 are pretty easy to deal with. We just held it and we're fine. But here's probably the sneakiest bit of this whole stage. We have these 2 big enemies here, but they're lined up in a way where if we like line ourselves up and move to the left, we're going to run out of room to hit this one because this one's way more on the right side. And we have all these tanks shooting at us. So in order to make this section more manageable, what we do is we position kind of on the rightmost side. So all these aim shots are being shot to the right side. And when we tap slowly to the left, those aim shots will miss. And we haven't covered too much distance so that we can still hit this one behind there. And we're good to go. Now we can clean everything up. We want to start on the left side here. And we're going to very, very slowly tap to the right. We need to kill all of these enemies up here to make the next huge enemy a lot easier. We're going to hold laser, and as soon as these shots are about here, we're going to switch to Kakusei, except this time we're using Kakusei laser. We do not want the cancel on this big enemy. We need as many gems as possible for up ahead. So we're going to use our laser so we don't do that much damage. Once you're out of the hard pattern, switch off to normal so that we get gems instead of losing them. This part's a bit weird. We're gonna, as soon as this turret enters and you can shoot it, you want to be ready to kill this tank in the garage. This tank will shoot from pretty low on screen. You need this thing to die really fast. As soon as that dies, you're gonna hold your shot and very slowly from here, be streaming to the right. I started a bit too much in the middle, so it makes things a bit sketchy. Ideally, be closer to the left side and then start your stream. And everything is aimed, so you'll easily be able to dodge everything. Just slowly tap and you're good. Otherwise, this section is surprisingly annoying to deal with. And now we're finally to the boss. We have a huge amount of resources for the Stage 4 boss to make it much simpler. And there's a lot of ways we can go around it. So I'm first going to show you the way that I used in this run to get rid of this boss. But I'm going to show you also other ways that you can skip whichever hard pattern you're having trouble with. You can pick which method you want to use, make this boss much easier. Here's what we're going to do. We're positioned to the left of the boss, and then we're going to slowly tap to the right so we dodge these aim shots. Now we are slowly tapping because in the middle is how you'll get through these spreads. So we'll move through the spread, but since we're slowly tapping, we don't have enough speed to get through here. That's fine. This is how we're going to line up a bomb. As soon as we're about to be hit, hold a fully charged bomb. Now I'm looking at the bomb meter on the bottom here. You see the bomb is about to reach the halfway point. You don't want it to hit the halfway point. You want it to have like a few pixels like extra full. And that way, you'll be sure to have a fully charged bomb, and you'll have enough iframes. I didn't even need to make that dodge there. I had the iframes to skip both this annoying pattern and get through this one so you didn't have to sneak through there. Hold on the boss at the bottom here so you get point-blank damage in. And that's how you use a fully charged bomb to get rid of the first phase entirely. Now this one. We're going to get turrets coming from both the left, then the right, then the left, then the right. Here's one method I used here. We're getting these aim shots, which aren't too hard to deal with. Just make sure you use your laser once you get to one side, then hold your shot for the speed, then use your laser once you reach the others. Do this really fast, and it's fairly easy to get through these aim shots and deal with these turrets. As soon as we get this harder spread coming in, now we can use our Kakusei. Our Kakusei shot is wide enough to be able to hit both of the turrets at once. Now I'm holding it just for a little bit to get some damage in, and now we should have enough to skip the last pattern. Last pattern is really hard, so we want to make sure we have enough damage in to deal with it. Now this one here, we have a bunch of gems left over to make this easier. This one's probably the hardest pattern people have trouble with. What's going to happen here is we have these randomized bullets combined with these long aim shots. To make this first dodge easier at the start of that, here's what you should kind of know on how this phase works. It's going to shoot these aim shots in segments, and it's going to shoot either like 1 or 2 bursts of them. So right here we get one of them, and it's going to either shoot 1 or 2. This time I only had 1. Then it's going to wait a bit where nothing's shooting. Now it's going to shoot another burst of several of them. So here we're getting 1, 2, 3. As soon as that burst is done, usually around then you want to use Kakusei. That'll make it so you can make a cutback, and you should be able to dodge the next set of bursts, and we have enough damage by using our laser without Kakusei at the start of that pattern to get a bunch of damage in. We have more than enough damage to get rid of it. Here's an alternative method for survival. Instead of bombing here, we're going to use Kakusei and then sit up top on top of the boss. We're going to get a bunch of point-blank damage in, pretty much killing out the whole phase. And if we want to conserve any more gems, we can hold on to them and then do this dodge here. For the second phase, we're going to hang out on the sides where these discs come out. We're going to wait for 2 of them to die, and then we can do a fully charged bomb and completely clear out the second phase. By this point, should have a bunch of gems to clear out the last phase. Now, stage 5 is my favorite stage in the game, but this shit is, this is a pretty big spike in difficulty, and it's really hard to do without a route. Luckily, though, there's a lot of ways to make this much simpler with a route, so I'll show you how you simplify everything. So right off the bat, we have enough iframes and everything. We just sweep all these Zakos at the start. Right after the power-up carrier, get ready on the right. We're killing that big enemy, sweep to the left, kill that big enemy. We want to stay holding our laser because there's these turrets here. We can just sweep to the right and you kill all of them as long as you keep holding that. Let's clean up all these Zakos to get ready for the next section. Now we want to hold to the right. We're going to get one on the right, one middle, one to the left. You want to hold your laser here and then don't move to the middle just yet, even though it's dead. We want to kill these annoying turrets for later, so you're just kind of holding for just a little bit longer. So you get ready on the right side. You hold your laser and you're just holding it for a little bit, kills that extra turret. Now we're going to sweep by everything else. Now we have this turret here. As soon as that dies, we're going to kill these enemies in this garage. Then we can sweep everything. We got a lot on screen, so let's use Kakuse, get rid of this big enemy, and then position to the left. Once you're safe on the left, then you can switch off it. And make sure you don't move. You're going to want to move to the right because these enemies are going to pop up. You need to stay still. This whole stage is about killing the big enemy and then holding there for the next section. You see this turret here? We're staying still, and we're going to slowly stream to the right past all these aim shots. And now we're pre-positioned for this dude. This thing looks fucking terrifying, but look closely. We just follow the clean diagonal lanes it gives us, and nothing can hit us. There's no like alteration or anything. You just hug the lane and you're good. Once again, you stay here because there's a bunch of enemies here. If you move away, then we're going to get locked on the right side. Hold here. Hold with your laser. Now this section's a bit harder with Tateha, but it's not too bad if you route it. Hold laser, move to the right. We're getting a bunch of these enemies. We're going to get like huge lines of them from now on. So we clear out the first ones going from left to right. We clear those out. Now we're getting from right to left. Now we don't want to go all the way to the left so that we like get around these shots because we need to get back to the right immediately. So we're going to sweep all of them from right to left. And then for this last one, you want to make your way through it. That way you're ready for here. Tatea's a bit slow, so if you don't get to the right very fast, that could cause issues. You could use your Kakuse here if you like find you're like you've run out of speed and you need to catch up. Now we get ready, sweep all of these. Keep holding your laser. We're ready for this turret. Keep going to the right. We're getting the big enemy once again along with these, but just keep tapping to the right. It's just like before. Everything misses you. Everything will miss as long as you just keep streaming like that and you're good to go. Now we're ready. This is one of the hardest sections of the game. Here's how we make it easier. This entire section is going to be full of these enemies streaming in from the sides, along with dealing tons and tons of these big turrets and big spreads. So look here, we got all those turrets to deal with, and these enemies are constantly flooding in from the sides, making it really hard to use our Kakuse and get rid of the turrets. And we get walled in on the left and right sides. This part's pretty hard. Here's the formula to make it much more manageable. So right after this section, where we're streaming everything to the right, as soon as this big enemy goes down and we get a big cancel, we're getting a big rush of Zakos. Use your shot. We're cleaning up all the Zakos. Now that this bomb carrier is in to refill us up to full, and all of these, there's no more Zakos, there's just the turrets. Now you flick the Kakuse, kill all of the turrets, pick up the bomb carrier and everything. Leave this one alive. We don't want to kill that one just yet. We don't have enough time because on the right side, we're about to get all of these enemies. We don't want them to drain our gems. Here's how we're going to do the rest of this section now. These enemies are going to come from the right and the left in waves of 2. So we have this one big wave on the right, one big wave on the left. Now we're going to get a pause afterwards. That's when you want to find your cutback. You need to move fast into a diagonal to build yourself some room from these turrets. So we'll move to the diagonal here to try to build us room so that we can make a cutback. Now we do the same thing, but going the other way. We're going to hold our laser for 2 waves of these Zakos, and we'll kill all these turrets as we make our way across. Now we've killed 2 waves of them. We need to do the same thing. Move off to the side to bait these elsewhere to give us a gap to move through. And now we're going to stream to the left side, doing the same exact thing for 2 waves. But now we have a problem coming up here. We have 2 of these big turrets that flood the screen, and we have Zako waves coming back to back to back to back to back. we're going to use our Kakusei here. We have enough gems so that even though these planes are going to be draining our gems, we have enough to get through this section, and it's worth spending it here. This section is really hard, even compared to the boss coming up ahead. Let's just spend our gems here. Plus, later on, we're going to get some gems for the boss anyway. Spend your Kakusei, and we're going to slowly kill both of these turrets. Don't worry about all your gems being drained. Just make sure you get through this section alive. And now that that's all done, we're at the final bit. We can just use our shot at the bottom of the screen, kill everything fast. We build more than enough gems for the boss. See, even though we used 500 gems on that last section, we built 300 of them there, which is more than enough we need for the next boss. Remember Cesare, the boss from the very first stage? She's back and she's a lot harder now. We're going to make this first pattern easier using those gems we had. We're going to use Kakusei. See here, I'm using laser whenever I have to do hard dodges that I need the extra speed for. And then in all these open sections, I'm using shot. Once you make it through here, you want to get out of there. And depending on how many gems you have left, you can either make it through both of these sections in slow motion, or you might have to switch out of it like I had and do a dodge. Now we get to this section. So we're going to have to do an around the world, following around either clockwise or counterclockwise based on how this little option in the middle decides to shoot. You can destroy this by focusing in on it, and then when you're at the bottom, focusing in on it or using like Kakusei to kill it. If you do that, you get extra phases. See here at the top, this health bar. If you kill this big orb in the middle before you get to phase 2, the boss will have a bunch of new patterns, which are way harder than dodging this one. So what we're going to do is focus hard on just killing the boss. So once we find out which way we want to rotate, we're focusing in on lasering the boss itself and not really trying to hit the orb instead. And we're going to slowly rotate around. Be careful when you're at the top. It's really easy to ram yourself into the boss. But something nice about the boss being up here is you can get some point blank damage. I try to get as much as I can there. Then we keep following along with it. As soon as we make one revolution around the boss, it's going to start to rotate the other way around. And this is going to be a lot faster. It's totally fine to use your shot for some extra speed like that. And you should have enough damage to kill the boss before the orb dies. We skip all the hard patterns. Now this is one of the harder patterns in the game. It starts off really easy, but it keeps adding a layer on each burst. What we want to do is we want to dodge until we reach here, where it's going to shoot like a way thicker spread. As soon as this spread happens, we have more than enough bomb meter to get us through this part. So as soon as this is about to hit us, hold your bomb. Once we've charged up to just about the halfway point, that's how we know we're getting the full charge. And by doing the bomb at that timing when the big spread is coming down, that should be more than enough time in order for you to kill this boss without needing to dodge anything else afterwards. We've made it to the final stage. This is like stage 5B, but I just call it stage 6. This stage, incredibly volatile. We have to deal with tons and tons and tons of these dolls. And these are a real hassle. It's very, very easy for these to flood the screen. So we want a very specific route to make this as clean as possible. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to be tempted to use our spread shot on Tateha to try to kill all of them at once. But the issue is we need the piercing badly from our laser. So for these starting few sections, we're going to use our laser and then be streaming from side to side. As soon as you spawn in, hold your laser. Now, we don't want to stream immediately. There's some enemies that pop up right in front of us, but there's going to be another additional wave of them. We're waiting for them. See there's 2 of them. So we hold our laser at the very start. We kill the first. Then we're waiting for those second ones to come in. Now that we've killed that second pair, there's no more coming in from the right side. We're free to stream to the left. Sweep everything. Now go fast. We need to start on the right side. We're going to do the same thing. There's these balcony enemies, but that's not our cue to move yet. We're waiting for these enemies here. Those are the last enemies on the right side. As soon as those pop out, we're now free to slowly stream to the left. That should clear out all of the dolls. Now the only thing remaining are these. These are now your time to stream to the right. That's going to help us kill the dolls in the middle here. And by this point, we've usually killed the dolls and created a path to now restream back to the left. This will help us be in a spot where we can kill these stage 2 enemies fast again. Now let's clean out this balcony, streaming from left to right, and then from right to left. As soon as we see these big enemies here, you need to move hard, fast to the left, and that way you can macro their whole spreads and you kill them quickly. As soon as that happens, move to the right really fast, you get rid of these enemies. You do have a little bit of Kakusei if you have trouble with either these enemies, if you want to speed kill those really fast, or these enemies up ahead. If these ones up top, the top right live, they're a real problem. So you want to kill those fast, even if you have to use a little bit of Kakusei. Now we're free to stream to the left, kill all these remaining dolls. At this point, we're getting close. We just have to do a few easy streams until we get to this game's Hell Hallway. This shit is where all the crazy stuff happens. We have 2 sets of them coming in from the left and the right. So let's use our shot finally. Our shot's going to come in handy for this section. We kill them all on the left and the right, and then don't shoot any in the middle. Make sure you've killed them all on the left and the right so that the only ones remaining are the ones in the middle here. This is not so that they could flood the stream for score. This is so we can kind of normalize this section and we can get it under control. If we kill these enemies as we're sweeping from right to left, their bullets will remain on screen and we can't cancel them anymore. So we leave these enemies alive until we make sure that this left and the right side are dead. And then once we're set here and they're all in the middle, use your Kakusei to sweep all of them and you cancel every single bullet on screen. This is how you get under control of this section. This section gets out of hand extremely, extremely fast. If any bullets are on screen, or any enemies live long enough to have 2 rotations of their shots, it gets way, way too hectic. So we do that strategy. We wait in the middle. Now we use Kakusei, kill all of them. Once they're all dead, we switch off. Now we can use our shot. Our shot's in a good position to kill all of them from the left and right, and we really are only dodging like 1 or 2 shots at a time. And the rest of them that are coming at us are aimed, so they're fairly easy to handle. You want to make sure and pay attention to any of these dolls on the sides that are like you managed to miss with your shot. They're not all coming in like both sides at once in like the middle. They're coming in like 1, then 1, then 1, then 1. You want to make sure you vary on the side. See here, like we're on the right side because these are getting close to the bottom. And we're trying to make sure that any of these ones don't sneak by and shoot shots while they're pretty low on the screen. Now we get this balcony. This is where it gets extra hard because not only do we have to deal with these, but now we have this whole host of them. So we're going to use a little bit of Kakusei to clean out just enough room to where we can clean out this balcony. And if we do this correctly, we should have a ton of gems going into the balcony, and clearing out the rest of these shouldn't cost too many. And now once there's barely anything left, we have more than enough room, clean everything out. If you need to use more Kakusei than I did, just do it there. Like using a bomb, you can even like charge a bomb for a really long time just to delay how long that section lasts. You can hold your bomb there and you'll get through it and like kill time, or just use a lot of Kakusei. Like if you're not trying to no miss or anything, you have more than enough resources to get through that section. Just don't die there. Now we're finally to the final boss. Most people will say that this game is really easy up until the final boss. The final boss is where the majority of the dodging difficulty lies in this game. That's why we kind of did our best through all these stages to get through it as easily as possible so that we get here with as many resources as possible. And anytime you're in danger, I need you to use your resources. You have enough, like we made it to here with max lives. We have more than enough to bomb like everything. We can bomb, use Kakusei on everything, die, use our bombs, use Kakusei, and we're good. A thing about this game is normally in cave games, you come back and you get like a couple bombs left when you respawn. In this game, you get a full ass bar, which is several like fully charged bombs or like 4 small bombs. You have the resources. Don't be afraid to use them. Let's get through this first section as easily as possible. We have 3 huge phases to the final boss. This first one, we have these 2 wings here. Now, this boss is going to shoot different patterns depending on how many of these wings are alive. And as soon as we kill all of these wings, no matter where we are on the life bar, it's going to transition to the second phase. We do not want the second phase to have extra health than what's listed here. So in order to make this first phase easier and not preemptively get into the second phase, we're going to hold to the left and kill these 2 wings. We'll get a cancel so we don't have to dodge anything. Then we kill the second wing, we get a cancel. Now we hold in the middle. It's really easy to dodge this pattern versus anything else it could shoot. So we're going to hold in the middle and not damage these wings. We want those wings alive so we get the easy patterns. Now we get these here. These are aims, so you just slowly tap and you're fine. Just slowly tap, and then all you have to focus on are these random shots, and you're good. Keep focusing on it. Make sure not that we're almost damaging this wing, but that's fine. We're pretty close to killing it. Nice. Now, we just have this last phase, and it's weak enough that we can use, as soon as these shots come down on us, a fully charged bomb, and we clear it out completely. That's how we get through that whole first phase without needing to worry about doing any dodges at all. Now we're on to the real boss. This is where shit gets crazy. This first phase here is fairly static. It always moves in this motion. I haven't seen it move in any other way. These spreads here are aimed at us, but we don't have to worry too much about controlling where they go. Just follow this motion. Just stick under the boss, and you're naturally gonna evade these. It's no problem. Just make sure you're under it. Now this pattern's a bit weird. If you try to go in these diagonal lanes, sometimes the lanes will fuck you up because these shots that go in between the lanes cause some hassle, like the lane won't be safe forever. It gets kind of weird. What I've found is I just stick on the bottom and I just sit in one spot. I don't get into the lane immediately. And then once I'm through, the lane usually cleans up on its own. So look at that. I just dodged through the narrow bits, and then it opens up later. By then, we get to this part. This phase is pretty hard and dangerous. We should use a resource here. Stay under the boss. You see, it's going to shoot this fast at us. If you're diagonal to the boss, these spreads are going to spread out a lot more and be really hard. So stay under the boss for these first few shots. It's way easier to manage. Now this pattern's really hard to dodge. This is where we're going to use our first resource. Try to do this best you can and then use either a bomb or Kakusei. I decided to use Kakusei, and because I want to save my gems for later, I'm just going to get out of Kakusei and kill it so we retain our gems. It's totally fine if you cancel this phase. Don't sweat it. Just make sure this phase dies. Now we have this section. This one, he's going to move off to one side, and then he's going to sweep by once or twice. To make it easier, since I have a surplus of gems, I'm going to use Kakusei just to make the crossovers easier, and he's going to do that twice. I just use it just to simplify it. Now this part's not too bad. I got a cursed pattern here. Usually you get these 2 sets of dolls on both sides, parallel to each other. This is the first time I've ever seen 4 fucking dolls lined up at the top. Whenever you kill these, they shoot a suicide bullet at you, and the higher they are on screen, the bigger and wider the spread they shoot is. So what you want to do to handle it is not worry about these bottom 2 just yet. You want to sweep to one side with your laser so you're killing them all at once. Since they all happen at once, you just make one movement to the middle, and you'll dodge all of them, then sweep the other side and you're good. You can wait till the very end to clear out these small ones. See, they only shoot one shot. When you point blank next to them, you can hold your laser and you got a wide hitbox on the sides. It's fairly easy and you have a lot of time. You might feel rushed because this boss is transitioning to the next phase, but look at all this dead air. We had a lot of time to take our time to kill these. So just take your time and make sure you don't get clipped there. Now we just get an honest dodging pattern. This one's kind of a breather. Don't sweat it too much. Get ready for the next section. That life bar is going to hit 0, but we're not done yet. We got one final health bar. And these 4 are why people call this boss really hard. All 4 of these are really hard. So I'm going to show you how to get through them. And if anything goes wrong at all, you're going to use a resource. Here's how this first one works. We're going to have these spreads here, which are going to slowly sweep based on our position. And we have these falling stars on both sides that are going to kind of make it so that we want to stay in the middle to dodge these spreads. Here's how we started off. We're going to bait the one side so that we could dodge to the other while it's open. And this boss is going to alternate between a wide spread and a constricting spread. When it comes back to us, it's wide, so we're free to dodge in the middle. And then it's going to get kind of tight here, so we want to get on the left side where it's open. Now it's like widening back up, so we want to get back in the middle. But for this final bit here, see, I use Kakusei there. Anytime you're like a little worried about doing a dodge, especially with these randomized shots from the sides here, just use your Kakusei for a little bit, just to use the slow motion to give you some breathing room. Once we're at this final part here, we don't have that much room to escape anywhere. So it very consistently will get to a point here where we can get out of this wide bit here, but then it gets tight. So what we want to do is use our Kakusei, and we're going to escape to the left side of the screen. It's easy to dodge, to like get out of there and dodge these falling star shots. With the Kakusei there for that final dodge, now we can make our final way back in while nothing's shooting us. And we should have enough damage here to kill it. Now this pattern, everybody fucking hates this pattern. One of my first ever bullet hell patterns was a pattern similar to this in like Toho 8. So I got used to dodging this style pretty early. So here's how you dodge this if you don't want to use any resources. This one, if you're not comfy with dodging, you want to use a resource on because it's very easy to feel like you're in a right spot to dodge it. And then you get clipped by either like one you weren't looking at or one by here. And you get clipped with resources in stock. It feels horrible. We need to break everything down one at a time. A weird thing with this boss, you usually want to be thinking in the bigger picture and not get tunnel vision. It's the opposite. You want extreme tunnel vision on this part. You see these lines here that are being shot at us? Those are a complete non-factor. As long as you're tapping to the side, which you're doing anyway to get through these, you're perfectly fine. Those don't exist. Now all we have to focus on are these shots coming in. You want the tunnel vision on the one that's closest to hitting you. So we have here, just focus on dodging this one. It's fairly easy to dodge these one at a time. See, I got a wide gap there. Now you're looking, where's the next set? Here's this one. We need to make sure to dodge that. Things get a little weird now that we have ones coming from the bottom and the top. Don't try dodging both of them at once or being in a position to advantage, like in an advantage state, dodge both. Just narrow your focus on one at a time. I'm noticing that these bottom ones are going to hit me first. So I just focus on getting through this gap on the bottom. As soon as you're safe to that, now look at the top. Okay, now I'll get through that gap. Oop, this is the next one that's going to hit me. Focus on that. Oh, we only have one, so we could keep going through. That's pretty easy. Uh-oh, now we have two. Which one's going to hit me first? You have to find the one that's going to hit you first. So I decide to like go through and aggressively make it through that one first. As soon as you're in a spot where you're safe to that and you know for sure this one won't hit you, you put your focus to the next set. Now I'm like, okay, that's the next one. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. When you're about here, if you find a big enough of an opening in between these line shots and you feel comfortable, that's when you can make a cutback to go to the other side. Now we're getting a bunch of them at once. If we try to dodge all of them at once, we're in trouble. Just dodge one at a time. We got this middle one. Now we can decide to either dodge the bottom or the top. I dodge the bottom first, and we have enough time to look up dodge the top. Tateha's laser actually makes this nice. Her laser, while not in Kakusei, actually does more damage than Ageha's does. You'd think it'd be the other way around. Kind of like Dodonpachi with like AL versus like something like the C ship. But no, this ship's laser is actually really strong. It's the Kakusei laser that sucks balls. So it makes getting through that section a bit easier, which is kind of partially the reason why I wanted to try Tateha out for this final boss so it dies faster. This last pattern's fucking insane. I ended up just saying fuck it. I managed to survive this boss with a bunch of bomb meter. One fully charged bomb is really all it takes to get most of this boss down, and you don't have to dodge it after that. And I'll explain after this how you do it if you want to dodge it without resource. Now we've made it to the final pattern. So the first thing you're going to want to do here is use all of your remaining bomb resource, and you want to bomb the boss like this. Yep, you do not want to bomb this boss at all. But the good thing is that only happens if you hit the boss with your bomb. If you veer your bomb off to the sides, which I end up having to do here, as long as you're not touching the boss, it doesn't refill. So you can still use bombs here. All right, let's look at this. Remember how we were talking about how you want a tunnel vision in? That's going to especially come in here. We want to stay on the bottom, like 2 horizontal lanes. That's where it's like most safe. And we have to deal with these slowly curving up and down to where we'll have to swap lanes. I like sticking on these bottom 2 lanes, and whenever we have to make dodges into each one, you can do that. And then we have to worry about these raindrop shots. So it's a lot happening at once, and if you try focusing on everything, it's way, way too hard to try dodging everything at once. So we want to dodge everything one at a time. So we're looking here, we're in this lane, and we're looking at how these are veering off. I'm seeing that this is curving in and this is curving up, so we either want to move down or up. So I decided to move up, and now this one's veering up. Now we focus on that one. You want to focus on each one at a time. So I'm thinking, hey, the next thing that's going to be a pain is this shot here. So all I'm thinking about is this shot. I'm not even worried about these horizontal ones. Make the dodge through there. Now, what's the next thing that could hit me? Probably this one's curving in, so let's get through that. Or you can make a dodge off to the side. Since I thought the dodge off to the side would be easier to do first, I decided let's just focus on that. Now we could focus on this one. We can move up. Now what's the next thing? You want to just focus on if you want to make a lane switch or if you want to do this next. Don't be thinking about what will be advantageous in the future. Just focus on the immediate thing. And you have enough space and time to react to the next bit. And if you do not have enough space and time, like here you can see we get a lot of shots and stuff starts overlapping heavily. That's when you can use any remaining gems you have to get through when they do start to overlap. One nice thing if you're in Kakusei is you do have an auto bomb while you're in it. If you do get hit with the auto bomb, you automatically use a small bomb and it will use 50% of your meter instead of 25. The nice thing in this game is we had a tiny pixel of meter left. That's enough for a small bomb. You don't actually need to hit 25%. I noticed here that I got tagged by something, and since we're in Kakusei, the auto bomb went off. Since that went off, you need to haul your ass over to the side so you don't heal the boss. Now, things get crazier as it goes on and goes on, but just keep focusing on things one at a time, and anytime you get that feeling like you're scared because things might start overlapping enough to where you're comfortable with, that's where the Kakusei comes in. Or if you have any bombs remaining, just dip a small bomb and go off to the side and reset the situation. Just keep doing this over and over. Don't worry about your damage. Just keep taking things one at a time, and before you know it, boss is dead. And bam, even though people call this game really easy, this boss is really fucking hard. This is one of the harder first loop cave bosses, so you should feel proud of getting through this one. And that's the game. Congratulations. This game is widely considered one of the easier cave clears, but even then, you gotta deal with like stage 4, stage 5, the stage 6 dolls in the hell hallway are really terrifying. Even with using Kakusei, things are really dangerous. So I'm hoping that with this route, it simplifies things so that you can just follow this static set of movements, and it'll make those sections much easier to deal with. And if you find that maybe there's like additional sections that I didn't use Kakusei on that you're having trouble with, and you end up needing to use those, and then you find, oh man, now I don't have enough gems for the boss, maybe my bombs aren't good, I can't use the big bomb for the speed kill like I did in this video. You have room to, every time you die, you come in with a full bomb meter and 250 gems. So if you fall behind in the route, resource-wise, just do your best and die. And when you die, you come back with a ton of resources so that you can restabilize on the route. We have so much leeway because we have so many lives with this route that, like, don't even sweat a mistake. You can make a mistake even like hella early on. But yeah, that's how you clear the game as stably as possible. If you have any additional questions on any sections or anything that I might have whizzed by fast, or if maybe you think there's something like that might be even better for survival here, feel free to throw them down there. But yeah, thanks for hanging in with me.